Willie Nelson, a name synonymous with country music.
Whiskey River, take my mind. Don't let her memory torture me.
With his signature bandana and braid adorned hair, he's become iconic and a symbol of artistic freedom. Award-winning and record-breaking, Willie Nelson's career soared high in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, yet beneath the cheerful exterior, a current of sadness and tragedy ran deep. From the death of his own child, dealing with his personal demons, and the financial strife he found himself in, this is the story of a modern music legend. Willie Nelson's musical journey began in the 1950s, writing songs that other artists made famous. Hits like Crazy and Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain had cemented his place in country music royalty, but we'll start with one of the most unknown parts of his early days. That is the failed bid to take his own life. It was early 1950s in Nashville when Nelson was trying but repeatedly failing to seek success in country music. Of that time in his life, Willie Nelson has said, "Looking back over my life, my early days in Nashville were a definite low point. I'm not one to easily fall prey to depression, but depression had me in its grips." He wrote that in an excerpt that was published by People magazine. Nelson had recalled how he laid in the middle of Broadway Street, Nashville's main thoroughfare, and prepared for a vehicle to run over him on a snowy night. "I lay prepared to stay, eyes closed," he said, "ready to move on and move out. If this world wasn't working, maybe the next one would." Of the incident, Nelson has been quoted as saying, "Maybe it was the bad weather and the late hour, but there was hardly any traffic. If one or two drivers saw me, they swerved out of the way. Was I relieved? Was I disappointed? Can't say for sure. All I know is that I got up, went back to Tootsie's, and had another drink." Thankfully, Nelson survived that particularly dark time in his life, but it was not the last time he was forced to wrestle with some horrible demons, and the death of his son was something he would be forced to confront many years later. It was Christmas morning of 1991, which should have been a time of joy, but for Willie Nelson, the holiday season turned into a season of tragedy. His son Billy was found dead in his Tennessee log cabin at the age of 33. The news would send shockwaves through the close-knit Nelson family. Billy was a musician himself who had battled depression and alcohol abuse for years. And while Willie was known for his relentless touring schedule, he and Billy had always remained close. Susie, Willie's daughter, had once revealed in a documentary about her brother's life, "We did everything together, but he had a lot of issues, and they just became more and more." Lana, another one of Nelson's daughters, had described Billy as a wonderful person who was battling an internal war. The details surrounding Billy's death were shrouded in sadness. Reports would suggest that he was legally drunk at the time, but the weight of his mental health struggles, coupled with the isolation of the holiday season, may have pushed him to the brink. And for Willie, the loss would be a gut punch. "I've never experienced anything so devastating in my life," he confided to a friend. The normally stoic singer was left reeling, the grief a constant shadow that no amount of success could alleviate.
When I lost my son, that was a big one, and everything else seems to pale in comparison. I got through that one, so I figure anything else, if you get through that, you can get through anything.
Billy's death was not only a personal tragedy, but it left a long-lasting mark on Willie's music. The themes of loss and redemption became more prominent in his songwriting, and fans speculated that songs like "Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground" and "Since You've Been Gone" were tributes to his lost son. The pain of losing a child became a recurring motif in Willie's later work. Despite the immense sadness, Billy's memory became a driving force, pushing Willie to continue creating music, a legacy built not only on outlaw anthems, but also on the enduring power of love and resilience. It was only a couple of years later that the IRS presented a formidable challenge for the singer, making life at that time even harder for Nelson than it had been a few years earlier. Financial issues had been brewing for years, and Willie's carefree attitude towards finances, coupled with poor investment decisions, had left him vulnerable. In the early 1980s, he invested heavily in tax shelters that were later deemed illegal by the IRS. These questionable investments, combined with allegedly underreported income, had created a snowball effect that led to a staggering tax bill. The exact figures vary depending on the source, but estimates place Willie's tax debt at a jaw-dropping $16 million to $32 million. In 1990, the IRS decided it was enough, and they swooped in, seizing his prized possessions: his Texas ranch, his lavish homes, and even his tour buses. Gone were the days of carefree living, and the iconic songwriter was now facing financial ruin. News of Nelson's tax woes would spread rapidly. Fans were shocked, and the music industry was abuzz. However, the singer was not one to go down without a fight. He assembled a team of lawyers and accountants to challenge the hefty tax bill. His lawyers argued that the investments were made in good faith and that penalties were excessive. The legal battle had dragged on for years, and it was a constant cloud that hung over Willie's head. Instead of succumbing to despair, Willie did what he knew best: he made music. He embarked on a grueling tour, aptly named the IRS Blues Tour, and fans rallied behind the singing legend, and the tour became a huge success. He wasn't out there only playing music, he was fighting for his livelihood and his legacy. True to his rebellious spirit, he refused to play by the rules of the music industry, and in 1985, he co-founded Farm Aid, a benefit concert series to raise awareness about the struggles of family farmers.
Daughter, by the banks of the old river Rhine. How about a nice hand for
This act of defiance against corporate greed resonated with fans while cementing Willie's image as a champion for the underdog. The battle with the IRS would drag on for years. Willie sold properties, restructured his business, and continued to tour relentlessly. His music became a catharsis, a way to express the pain and the anger. Slowly, painstakingly, though, he chipped away at the debt. In 1993, Willie Nelson was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame, a testament to his enduring musical influence. Despite the financial hardships, he continued to release albums, experiment with genres, and collaborate with other artists. He became a symbol of perseverance, proving that even a legend can fall and rise again. Today, Willie Nelson, well into his 80s, remains a strong touring force. The tax battle is a distant memory, a chapter in a long and remarkable life. Willie Nelson's story reminds us that even the brightest of stars can be touched by darkness, but it's the strength to keep shining that truly defines the man. If we missed anything, let us know in the comments below. And if you're a country and rock music nerd, you'll be doing yourself a disservice by not subscribing. So hit that button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.